So we were discussing different types of clusters. So we saw what is a well-separated cluster, where the data points within a cluster is very closely related to a data point from, with respect to a different cluster. Okay. So next, we will continue with the next type of cluster, that is prototype-based cluster. So in prototype-based cluster, as you can see, each object is closer to the prototype. So first we need to understand what is a prototype or a centroid. So consider cluster A. Please consider cluster A, and within this cluster A, we have 3 points: P1, P2, and P3. Okay. So centroid is what you can see here. So take the locations of P1, P2, P3, obtain the average, that is divided by 3. So the point you obtain x is nothing but the centroid. Okay. So it is somewhat like the average distance of the points P1, P2, and P3. Now, if you just give a glance with respect to the points P1, P2, P3, and X, you can see a distance between points P1 to X, P2 to X, and P3 to X, okay, is smaller compared to a centroid that is there in a different cluster. Okay. So, for example, you can see in cluster B, we have the centroid Y, similar to the centroid X we had in cluster A. Okay, so this is the centroid in cluster B. So you can see the distance of the point P1 or P2, okay, is smaller to its own centroid or to the centroid in its own cluster when compared to a centroid in a different cluster. This is a prototype based cluster. So to summarize, in a prototype based cluster, a point within a cluster, for example, point P1 within cluster A, okay, will be having a shorter distance to the centroid within the cluster compared to a centroid that is there in a different cluster. So that is what you can see. It has been marked. For example, P3. You can see P3 is having a shorter distance to X compared to Y. Okay, which is a centroid in a different cluster. So this was prototype based cluster. The next type of cluster is graph based clustering. So here what we are doing is we are representing objects as nodes. That is, each and every data object or data point will be represented as a node. Okay, you can see uh, DO1, DO2, DO3. So each and every point that you are seeing here is a node, okay, represented as a node. And we try to connect these nodes. Okay, we try to connect these nodes in the form of a graph. So you can see, for example, DO1 is connected to DO2. Okay, and for this connection, the weight has been assigned as 1. So what do you understand from this? So the distance between data object 1 and data object 2 is 1. In similar lines, you can see the distance between data object 2 and 3 is 5. Distance between data object 2 and 4 is 6. Okay, so you can see we have indicated the positions of different data objects. They are represented as it as vertex or nodes. Okay, we have connected one data object to another data object in the form of a graph. Okay. The distance or the points between, the points between object 1 and object 2 has been connected in the form of a graph, and weights have been assigned. Now, how to understand the significance of this weight? What does the number 1 mean, 5 mean, 6 mean here? Okay. So a value 1 means data object 1 uh, is closely related to data object 2. So you can see here in this instance. the distance between data object 1 and data object 2 is 1, meaning that very close relation. As the value increases, the closeness of the data objects, okay, decreases. Okay. For example, the distance between data object 1 and data object 4, you can see it is 3, meaning that data object 1 is more closely related to data object 2 than data object 4. So distance between data object 2 and data object 4 is 6, meaning that they are not so closely related, but still they are part of the same cluster. Now consider one more scenario. Data object 2, which is there in cluster A, okay, is having a weight of 20 to data object 5, which is there in a different cluster. Okay, so that has been represented there. You can see what do you understand from this. So the bottom line here is data objects within a cluster. Okay. Data objects within a cluster, for example, data objects within cluster A will have a lesser weight when compared to the data objects between clusters, between two clusters. Okay. For example, you can see data objects between two clusters, cluster A and B. Okay. That is the data object 2 and data object 5 is having a weight of 20. So when we have a standard representation for this, the graph G, okay, is represented by V comma E, where V is the vertices, and E is the edges. Edges have weight. That's what we had seen. Okay. Each vertex is represented by point x comma y. We have one more terminology here called as click. Okay. So if all the nodes or vertices are completely connected, you can see in this case, in cluster A, you can see all the nodes, okay, are connected. We do not have a node which does not have a connection. Okay, it is completely connected. So such type of graph we call it as a click. Next, continuing with our discussion, the next type of cluster is density based cluster. So what is density based cluster? So you can see the data points represented on this graph. You choose a point which we will call as a core point. For example, I have chosen this point A. So this will be my core point. Define a radius. Okay, for example, here I have defined radius is 1 unit, okay, or epsilon distance. So this is the radius of 1 unit. So within this radius, you mark a circle. Okay. So you can see how marked a circle using this radius, which was 1 unit, and whatever the data points are there within this circle, so that will become the density of this cluster. Once again, I'm repeating, to identify the density of a cluster. Okay, in density based clustering, choose a point. Okay, so choose a point in the cluster, in the set of data points, choose a point. For example, I have chosen point A, which will be called as a core point. So take a radius under consideration. For example, it's 1 unit here. Okay, so 1 unit radius has been taken. Draw a circle here. Okay. So whatever points fall within this circle, so that will be the density of this circle or cluster. So this circle is a cluster here. So points which are there on the border, okay, so they are called as border points. Even the border points may share with other clusters. For example, you can see, so this specific border point, okay, which I have called as x here, is being shared with a different cluster. So that is also possible. Few points may not be part of the cluster, you can see in this case. Okay. So these points are outliers or noise. So one of the algorithm to implement this density-based cluster is the DB-scan algorithm. It's part of your syllabus. We'll discuss it later. So we completed with the fourth type of clustering, that is density-based clustering. So please remember we are discussing the different types of clusters. So well-separated cluster was covered in the previous video. You had seen that. Next we started with the prototype-based cluster, where we understood each and every cluster will have few data points. A specific data point in a cluster will be having a smaller distance to its own centroid compared to a centroid of a different cluster. That was a summary of this. Next we saw graph-based clustering. In graph-based clustering, we understood each and every data point or object will be treated as a node, and the different nodes are connected using edges. Weights are assigned to the edges. What do we mean? What do we mean by a edge here? Weight here. The weight is how much the data objects are similar. So if the data objects are very closely related to one another, the weight will be small. The number that you are seeing will be small. Okay, so if the number is very large, it means the distance between the two data objects is very large, or in other words, the similarity is less. So two data objects within a same cluster will have a less weight compared to a data object between two clusters. That is what we understood. Next, we understood the density-based clustering, okay, where we try to measure how many data points are there within a cluster. We also understood what is a border point and the outlier. Okay, we understood the algorithm, the detailing of which we will see later. Next, the last one. The last one under the types of clusters is the shared property cluster or the conceptual cluster. Okay. What is this conceptual cluster? So as you can see, conceptual cluster is based on the description. Okay, based on the description you are giving, it's also called as a concept cluster. So depending on the description you give, different type, specific type of clusters will be formed for the raw data or raw data points. Okay. So I'll go to an example. For example, you consider the four data points that are there here. This is the first one. Okay. So first one, second one. This is the first data point. So what do you see with this data point? We see the first data point is student one of CSE branch. Okay. So he is coming from Mysore. The second data point you can see student 2 from EC branch. He is also from Mysore. The third data point you can see, this is my third data point. He is student 3 from CSE branch, but please see his location, he is from Mandya. And the fourth data point is student 4. So from EC branch, so he is also from Mandya. Okay, this is my fourth data point. So in this scenario, you can see we have four data points, each data point with its own specific details or properties. Now, we are discussing conceptual cluster. Now I will introduce a concept. Okay. I will give a description. What is it? Form the clusters based on the branch of students. See, this is the concept I have introduced. Based on this concept, the clusters should be formed. Based on the branch, clusters should be formed. Now, if that is the case, you can see student 1 and 3. Okay, student 1 and 3 are from CSE branch. They will go into one cluster. The same has been marked, you can see here. Okay, student 1 and 3 into one cluster, and student 2 and 4. So, student 2 and 4, so they are into a different cluster. We will call it as cluster B. So, once again, student 1 and 3, so they are into one cluster, maybe cluster A, and student 2 and 4 into cluster B. Now, how this cluster was formed? So, what was the basis on this cluster was formed? The basis was the conceptual description that he had given. Okay, what was the conceptual description he had given? Branch. Found the clusters formed based on the branch attribute. Okay. Now, is it the same? No, I can change. I can change my description. I can change my conceptual cluster. For example, now I made a change. The change is form the clusters based on place or location. Okay. So now the data points will change with respect to cluster A and cluster B because the description has changed, the concept has changed. So now the description is the clusters to be formed based on the place or location from which the students are coming. Okay. So that is the case, and now there will be a change. What is the change we will see? So student 1 and 2 who are from Mysore will be under cluster A. Okay. And student 3 and 4 who are from Mandya, so they will be under cluster B. See, this was a typical example to make you understand what is a conceptual cluster, what is a description based cluster. Okay. So please note, we will have data points with its own attributes. So these data points will be part of a specific cluster based on the concept you are introducing, based on the description you are giving. For example, the first concept that I introduced or the first description that I gave was clusters to be formed based on the branch of the students. So in that case, student 1 and student 3 data points went into cluster A. Okay. In the second description, I indicated that clusters to be formed based on the place or location of the students. So in that case, student 1 and 2. So these two data points went into cluster A. Okay. So and the remaining points into cluster B, as you can see. So this was a description based cluster. So we understood what is a description based cluster. So this was the last of the cluster types that we had discussed. So totally we have discussed 5 different types of clustering or clusters under the section. So types of clusters. So we will conclude so this discussion at this point. So we have completed topic 1. Okay. So module 5, topic 1. So thank you for your listening.